This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill. Today, a very special guest. He was our Raise Rowdy Man of the Year back in 2024. He's a guy that I remember when he first moved up from Deep South Georgia, and a guy that's been doing the artist thing now here and has some new music coming soon, and just one of the best dudes you could know in this great city of Nashville, Tennessee. We got our man, Justin Schools, in the morning. In the morning, on a Monday morning of all times.
Still wiping the sleep out of my eyes right now.
Yeah, you said you were back in Georgia this weekend?
Yeah, I went back to Carrollton, Georgia.
Oh, okay. I've had good times in Carrollton, man.
Good times in Carrollton.
That's awesome.
So we were out in the woods. We my sister's fiance's family, they hosted us for the wedding shower and smoked a whole hog on smoker. It was great. It's the first time I did that, and I'm already planning how I'm going to go do that here at my house.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. And a big Bulldogs win, huh?
Absolutely. Huge win for the Dogs.
Were you nervous at all about
absolutely.
that game? Because
this year I'm nervous every game.
yeah, and it's crazy because for you're what now? You're 24, 25?
26.
26.
Yeah, I'm getting up there.
You're getting up there.
Getting up there.
How old were you when you moved here?
23, maybe.
23, so you're same
20,
age.
22, 23, something.
Okay,
like
because I was gonna say I was 23 when I moved here, but I remember meeting you and your manager, Sledge, got a real kick out of this. I'm like, do you know how Justin was when I first met him? She's like, no, was he loud and causing a scene? I'm like, no, he was like this quiet dude that I don't think I heard you knew what your voice sounded like the first few times that I met you. Because you got brought up, like, you're a proud member of, like, the fraternity of South Georgia guys like Brian Fuller and Tyler Chambers. Yep. And how did you find your way from your farm, talk about growing up down in the Valdosta area, to making your way up here?
Well, it involved 4 different colleges.
4?
Yeah, man. You know, we had to make the tour. Now, I started taking college courses while I was still in high school, and so that was college number 1 that we started at. And once I graduated there, we just kind of we upgraded to the university and did the fraternity thing there for a little bit.
At UGA?
No, at Valdosta State.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Valdosta State. So Blue Water was, the place to be every night. But yeah, I did that. I think I was at Valdosta State for either a year and a half or 2 years, somewhere in there. Never went to class. I think I went to work instead of going to class. But I was always that guy that had cash in my pocket. So,
yeah. What were you doing for work in college?
There's a guy back in Ray City, where I'm from, which is like 30 minutes just north of Valdosta. He did a bunch of hay and some cattle, so I'd help him with that on the weekends and whatnot. And between that, I worked at a tractor dealership in town too.
Makes a lot of sense.
So, yeah, I did a whole lot of that. Was a whole lot of tractors involved with stuff, but I decided to go do that versus go to class, and so I flunked out.
Yeah.
So left Valdosta State, downgraded to Georgia Military College in Valdosta.
Georgia Military College.
Oh yeah, which there was no military involved. It was a satellite branch in Valdosta. I want to say the main branch of Georgia Military College is in Dahlonega, or somewhere around there.
So there's no military involved. So are there uniforms and shit, or?
Nope, it's just a JUCO, junior college.
Wow.
Yep. So I went there and was actually doing pretty good, ace and everything, all that good stuff. And then COVID came around, and everything went online, and I don't know how to work technology. It's not my thing. I can barely work my cell phone. So that came around. I was like, well, I'm not doing this anymore. And, got out of Georgia Military College. And at that time, I was playing the bars around town and had a little 3-piece trio band, which we were not any good. Sometimes I'll have videos pop up on my phone, and I'm like, God, what were we doing? And
we all have that, man. I have that with what I'm doing. It's like I want to show people the interviews that I did, because the guys from back then are all monsters now, like Combs and Wallen. And I was interviewing them as Redneck Matt. And I was about 20 pounds heavier, clean shave, buzz cut. Dude, I hate. Trey Lewis sends me those videos. He's like, look what popped up on my feed, Redneck Matt. I'm like, so I get that where it's, but it's where you start,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think we called ourselves the the Interstate Cowboys,
Okay.
in which translated after a few beers to the Interstate Cowbirds. So that was, just we won't talk too much about that.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
But that was where you first got
Yeah, that
introduced to being on stage,
Yep.
which is important.
Yeah, that and I led the worship at our church for years.
Of course you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
That's
that-
the Georgia way, bro.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So we'd play Saturday night, and then Sunday morning I'd have to be up at church at 6 a.m. So that was always fun. I don't think I had too big of a smile when I first got there to church.
So leading worship, is that just with an acoustic guitar? Is that like with a band? Because I've been to like the mega churches. I call them the rock star church. Like where it's like the way I grew up going to church, it was not that. But when you say you're leading worship, do you got a band behind you, or is it just you kind of acoustic?
So what we started, it was just like a guy that had a guitar, and then like my mom sings there, and then there was another lady that sang, and that's how it started. And then it upgraded. They hired like an actual like worship pastor, and he brought in a band, and they redid the whole like gymnasium and put a stage in there.
Wow.
And we had some lights. It wasn't anything like you see here at Mega Church, but I mean, we had a band. So we played, and I still remember, I think I taught myself how to play guitar when I was in 8th grade, and I had just a little red Epiphone guitar, didn't have any plugins, but I was up there, that's how I, journeyed to learn how to play. Is I was up there, they had a microphone that they put in front of my guitar. So that's how that started. But yeah, I did that for years. I mean, up until when COVID came along. And then after that, I transferred from Georgia Military College to a music school in Memphis. So I lived in Memphis for a year. Worst year of my life. God, that was the worst time ever. Just Memphis as a whole is just not a fun city.
Was that? Did you have the long-term plan of getting here to Nashville, and Memphis was like the stop along the way?
Yeah.
Is that the thought process?
So my thought process was, I try to be like as real as I can be when I think about things, or as logical.
Yeah.
And also try to find like shortcuts around
It's the
stuff
practical
sometimes.
farmer
Yeah.
in you too. It's how farmers think. You got to be
Yeah.
practical in your decisions.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, how can I get to Nashville and spend the first year without spending a ton of money on rent or whatever? I'm like, oh, well, I'll just go to school. I'll live in a dorm for a year and whatever. And I was like, well, I can go to Belmont, or I can go to this school in Memphis. And I was like, I'm about to turn 21. I've been doing the fraternity life for 2 years or so now. I'm like, I should probably not turn 21 in Nashville. So that was ultimately my decision factor.
It was a responsible decision as a 20-year-old.
Yeah. Little did I know, I'd be sitting in my dorm room drinking fifths of liquor.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't go to a party school, and thank God I didn't, because I still found a way for alcohol to be a huge problem in my life, and haven't had it. Luckily, I quit before I got here, but it's like sometimes you don't go to the party school, and you get into even more trouble.
Yeah.
Because you find your way with your close group of homies in a dorm room versus like a bar's almost safer than
No, exactly.
no rules dorm room.
Exactly. You can go out and do it with friends, versus like sitting in, I would sit in my truck in the parking lot because we weren't allowed to drink on campus. It was a Christian school too.
Yeah.
So I ultimately got kicked out of there. But I would, sit in my truck in the parking lot and listen to music, and I would just drink Crown Apple.
Yeah.
Straight in a solo cup.
Yeah. What were the songs you were listening to back then? Do you remember what was on that truck Christian school playlist? I'm imagining it was more in the country world, and probably a little bit of hip hop, probably a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I was in my Tacoma still, and I had a sub in the back. The windows were, 5% all around blacked out.
Wow.
Nobody could see anything. I'm pretty sure I had a few cigarettes in there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know what I was listening to. Probably some Fireman by Lil Wayne, I'm sure. Corey Smith was always in there. Blake Shelton.
That's 2020, right?
Yeah, 2020. And I listen to older music. I don't really listen to a lot of the newer music. I still don't. Nowadays, I don't hardly listen to music at all.
Really?
Ride around in silence. Nothing but the scary thought of my thoughts.
Silence.
Yep. People hate it. Sledge, she hates it.
You won't even listen to talk radio, like
every now and
or
then.
podcast or anything.
Podcasts put me to sleep.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like I only listen to them when I'm driving long distance. So, then I'm trying to stay awake. But,
Yeah, you won't listen to like Paul Feinbaum or like SEC talk radio?
No, not
'Cause
really.
I listen to New York sports talk radio. It drives Nikki T up a fucking wall to the point where when we're going long distances and stuff, usually he's got a car full of people, and then I'm driving like Ike and whoever. And because I love when people call in and freak out, especially today after the Giants cluster yesterday. Today's an all-time New York sports talk radio day. There's people jumping off bridges and shit. It's crazy. But so you drive in silence.
Oh yeah.
Do you write while you're driving? Like, will you
Yeah.
get ideas in your head, and are you one of those voice memo guys where you'll just start humming a melody or something?
I'll do that. I do my best thinking when I'm driving or if I'm in the shower.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So I have, phone memos on standby all the time. So that's what I do. Sometimes I just go drive around at night. Just go do it.
Just like, why not?
Just why not? If I'm sitting around the house, I don't have anything going on, I'm just going to take a drive. And you can drive through, like, the Bellmead areas and see the biggest tame deer you'll ever see in your entire life.
Yeah, because nobody's touching them because they
Nobody's touching 'em.
can't.
Listen, last year, I saw the biggest deer I've ever seen in my entire life in Bellmead. This was at, like, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, sun's setting down, and we're just on this little street through this neighborhood, and it's really wooded in there, and there's huge houses everywhere, but I get stopped on this road because this deer's walking in front of me, and if there wasn't a car on this other side, it was just us 2 cars, and this deer's just grazing across, and I'm like reaching for my 9mm, like the biggest deer I've ever seen, non-typical. I mean, had horns going everywhere. It was a beautiful thing.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
So how do you get from Memphis to here? What's that transition of going from that college to Nashville?
So I went home for the summer, worked on the pecan farm back home, and then.
So it is pecan, not pecan.
I say pecan, but now I say butter pecan ice cream.
Oh.
I think the proper way, the proper Southern way, is pecan. But I say pecan because I'm not proper.
Yeah.
So
no, you're just in schools.
That's right. 101.
Yeah. Amen. Thank God for that.
Yeah, we don't need to.
So you're working back on the farm. Is that with family and friends? Just kind of what you grew up doing?
Yeah, it's like extended family. So it's my family. We grew up right here on this one piece of property. My dad's family lives in the city, one stop sign city right up the road, and then my mom's family lives on this one piece of property right here, and then the pecan farm is just kind of everywhere, and so that's kind of like extended family right there. And so I worked there all summer, and just pecan farming it's like not super tedious work. It's kind of maintaining. I mean, it's trees, so as long as you keep the right sprays and pesticides on the stuff, I mean, you just kind of maintain the grass and make sure the irrigation is being upheld and all that good stuff. So just did a lot of that, and I watched a ton of Netflix sitting in the tractor seat.
What were the shows?
God, there was one. It was
Tiger King's popping at that time, or is this a little bit after that?
I think this was a little bit after that. There was one. It was this plane like disappeared for years.
Oh, the Malaysian Airlines?
Something like that, yeah. But it was like this plane disappeared, and all these passengers, like, one day, like, this was like 50 years later or something, the plane like reappears.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
it lands, and
I
all
do
these
remember
people are
that one.
like, what is going on kind of thing. Yeah, it was crazy. But I watched that whole season in like 2 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, binging through shows.
Yeah.
Binging through shows while working, if you're just...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I had a Parks and Rec, like, grounds and maintenance crew where I was, like, cutting grass at a town park and, like, picking up the trash when I was in, like, early days of college. And I watched the entire series of Trailer Park Boys that summer.
God, yeah. That's a lot of episodes.
I know. I worked a lot of hours.
Yeah.
My $10.50 an hour, Yeah. you bust your ass, man.
Yeah.
So does something click in your mind that summer where you start taking trips up here?
Yeah, I was taking trips up here and just trying to figure out what my living situation was going to be in. And, all I was doing was coming back home. I was living with my parents. I wasn't spending any money. I was just trying to save up.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
It's great.
Like, thank God for parents that
Yeah.
let kids stay with them for.
Yep.
That's how you know you got a good family, man.
Oh, yeah. So, did that, and I was taking trips up here back and forth while they were trying to figure out who I was going to live with, where I was going to live, and wound up nailing down Brian Fuller, and we lived together for the first year, and that was a heck of a time, and we got a place here in Hermitage, right up the road, actually.
Was it the spot where, was that Albany?
No, it wasn't on Albany. That's where Tyler lived. That's where Chambers
Okay,
lived.
because
Yeah.
Albany Drive back in the day, because I remember during COVID, Brian Fuller lived with Wales, Tony from Whaletail Media,
Yeah.
and I think Elijah Borders was with them too. And we
Yeah.
used to have a lot of fun at that
I've
house.
heard stories.
The COVID parties were elite. Back in the day, bro.
Yeah.
This was pre Brian getting married, which love you, Katie. His wife, Katie,
Yep.
awesome.
She's the
Salt to
best.
the earth. And before Wales really got in, he was just doing the content stuff at that point. But we had like release parties for everybody at that house. Like Brian's good people.
Oh, yeah.
And how far away are you guys from each other, like growing up? Because he's in Statesboro, right?
It's like 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours.
But
It's
same
not-
type
yeah.
of region.
Yeah. You know, we all kind of grew up the same way, you know, sitting in trees in the woods and just doing probably stuff that we can't talk about on this,
Drinking
podcast.
cold beer and
Yeah.
riding dirt roads.
Exactly. You know, just the typical things that country boys do. We grew up the same way doing all that, and, you know, we related a lot about that stuff, and, you know, talks we had, you know, late night hanging out and just talking about life kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Yeah. So what year was it that you fully got up here? It was what?
December 21.
Right at, so you start the year fresh in 22 living here.
Yep.
And what were your thoughts initially? Because I remember you like taking it like when I first met
Yeah.
you, I was like, okay, quiet kid, has the look of a Georgia boy. Like you had your little flow. Actually, no, I think you were cleaned up in the back when you first got here.
Probably.
Because you were coming out, that was when our Live Oak era was popping.
Yeah.
That was when Tuesdays and Sundays at Live Oak were jamming.
It was a
man.
place to be. I mean, I remember the first, like, outside the round that I ever saw, it had Dylan, and Dylan had all the boys. I mean, Tyler, Brian.
That was in the round back then. That was pre me and Nikki merging. That was when I was still tour managing for Trey.
And that I remember there being a freaking line to get in outside. I'm like, geez, like, you know, I'm glad I know somebody I can just slide in with.
Yeah, that was the Whaletail. That was one of the Whaletail takeovers because I think Ella played that night too.
Yep.
Because that was when Hate Me If You Have To was starting to blow up. Those days were wild, man. So you come to town and you just get introduced to that.
Yeah. And you know, I kind of got like brought into those guys' crew, and they're kind of like the older classmen, you know, whereas I'm a little bit younger than they are, but you know, I got brought into that, and they're all like at the point where they're starting to get a little bit of motion, and Dylan had a little bit more, but you know, those guys, they have stuff going on, and I'm just kind of like, I have no clue what's going on. I'm just looking around like, you know, what I do with my hands kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was great. And, you know, I learned a lot of stuff pretty quick and met a lot of people pretty quick. And, you know, I'm super thankful for that.
Yeah, man. And I think you learn how to be already, like growing up, I'm sure you've been one of our favorite like hangs, like one of our favorite people to have around us, you know, like, but you learn kind of how the game works of going to the bars and not going down the Broadway all the time, but going down for sometimes, you know, like, especially because you moved up here around the same time as the Paxtons and the Connor Sweeneys and the Austin Snells and the Jake Gantz and Mac Easons. And I mean, the Drew Taylor, like the list, Logan Millwood, the list goes on and on and on of all the guys that moved up here right when you did.
Yeah.
And your boys were playing on Broadway. So you would go, see, I never.
Monday nights at the Valentine.
Yeah,
Sweeney.
dude, I used to have, because when I first moved here, I worked at Whiskey Row. So I knew a lot of the guys and girls that were playing on Broadway. So I did a lot of nights out where I was like, oh, let me go to Broadway and watch the homies play and just see what happens.
And that was a great time.
Yeah. And what was it like coming up like with that crew? Like just all you guys, most of you from the Southeast.
Yeah.
Connor's Carolina. A lot of those guys are Georgia guys. Paxton coming from Mississippi. Connor coming from Kentucky. Like a lot of you guys all kind of got here. But what was it like kind of going through and learning how to do this thing with your buddies?
Well, it was kind of one of those things where like Paxton, he had been doing it for a lot longer than I had. Connor had been doing it for a lot longer than I had. So like they had their sets figured out. They had them nailed down. And so like it was one of those things where I enjoyed not just going out, you know, getting hammered with the boys, but like I enjoyed watching them perform their sets that they, like I said, have nailed down.
Yeah.
So it's a great show, and like I learned so much from them, you know, more so than just hanging out and being boys with everybody. Like I try to learn something from every situation that I wind up in.
Yeah.
Good or bad. You always learn something.
Yeah, you do.
But man, it was great, and those boys, you know, mean so much in my life for sure. I mean, we were all together last night. We had a birthday celebration for like 5 or 6 people in one.
Wow.
But we were together last night, and we were building a fire, and it was Paxton said it, I think. It was like, man, ain't it funny how, you know, used to we'd all, anytime we were all together, we were all at Red Door or something like that.
Yeah.
Now we're like trying to stay as far from town as possible. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy times.
Yeah, and you and Connor had a little business of building bikes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Building back dirt bikes and whatever, anything with a motor that kind of came in through the door, right?
Yeah. We, you know, Connor's always, he is great with money. Not to talk about Connor's money, but he's great with money.
Like he has
Super
he has a business sense.
Yeah. He does that, and I can fix, you know, almost anything that's within reason. But so we would just get stuff in, and we would just fix it and turn a profit off of it, and we'd just go buy some beers.
And you'd shoot the shit while you're like you become brothers while you're working on stuff together, and just I'm sure got tunes, and you're showing him stuff that you wrote that week, and he's showing you stuff that he wrote that week, and you just hanging out, drinking
building
beer.
That bond, yeah.
How long did you guys do that for? Because I remember that being a pretty consistent thing there for a minute, right?
Yeah, and I think it was just like us just having something to do. It was never really like a real thing, you know. It just kind of like we fixed Ern's bike.
Yeah.
He had that deal with, I guess he still has a deal with Kawasaki, and they gave him that little 110 or whatever, and it just sat in the storage unit here in town, and so the carburetor got all gummed up, and I had to take it out, and I had to rejet everything, and you know, got it running a little bit better than it did before. But you know, we were just messing around.
Yeah.
Boys being boys.
That's awesome, man. And coming from where you come from in South Georgia, it's funny because a lot of people where I'm from don't know the name Statesboro, Georgia. Like I've traveled around so much more than the average person from where I'm from, or even the average person in Nashville, where it's like you can't tell the I know that you can't tell the history of country music without South Georgia.
Right.
Like you really can't. And the guys and girls that have come before you, I mean the Luke Bryans, the Dallas Davidsons, the Swindells, the Curringtons, the now like the Dylan Marlows and the Gavin Adcocks and the Cole Goodwins. Like the list goes on and on and on of people, man. And there's sad country songs in there, but a lot of it is about having a good time with your people. Like, what's it like being part of that? Being kind of part of that lineage and growing up listening to that stuff, because like an FGL song's got to hit a little different for you.
Oh yeah,
like you lived it.
Yeah, literally. I mean, that, you know, it makes you proud to be from where you're from. I mean, I like you said, I lived everything about those songs that you hear. I mean, it resonates a little bit different for us.
Yeah, Rain is a good thing. Luke Bryan, like
a great thing.
2000s Luke Bryan, Aldean, like Thomas Rhett, like. You growing up, it was like they romanticized that because growing up 30 minutes outside New York City, I didn't experience all those things, but I could figure out what they were talking about. But it had to be so cool, like being in middle school, being in high school, growing up in that small town environment and having those songs to listen to. It's got to make you fall in love with it.
Oh, yeah, man. It's like it hits different. You know, people always ask me the one question, like, what's your favorite country music singer? Like, who do you look up to? And it's always been Luke Bryan. And I tell people, like, you know, I get shit for that all the time, but I'm like, it makes so much sense because I lived that, and that's the life that I grew up doing.
All right, top 5 Luke Bryan songs.
I would say Blood Brothers is top 5 for sure.
You are a big fan. Those are some deep cuts.
Yeah, deep cuts. Do I is a one of my favorite. I think Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye is my number one favorite. And let's see. Sand I Brought to the Beach, the Spring Break albums, phenomenal.
Those are some of Nikki T's favorite records of all time. Are those Spring Break Luke Bryan records?
Yeah. My Old Bronco, that's a great song too. I've always been a huge Bronco fan. Just those trucks are great. You can't beat them. And any song that has a Bronco in it, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
That's
awesome, man. Do you feel like because you've been putting out music now for what, about a year?
Yeah, November will be a year since the first song came out.
A year in. What took so long for you to want to do the artist thing? Like, walk me through kind of that path, because you've been here for a few years now.
Yeah.
But it took 2 or 3 years of you being here before the first release kind of comes out.
Yeah, December will be 4 years that I've been here, and I came here, and I think I put out a song whenever I got here, and everybody does that, but I never really wanted to do the artist thing. It just sounded like too much work, and I love writing songs and putting pen to paper, but I kind of like coming home at the end of the day and relaxing and not having to do anything, spending time with the dog, whatever. And so I was just like, whatever, I can do this, and I can go, if I want to hear myself sing, I'll just sing on a demo, whatever. And I've never been super confident about singing or anything, and I'm just trying to figure that out now. But we signed publishing with Warner Chappell, and I started singing on more demos, and they were like, hey, we'll pay for some songs if you want to put some out. I was like, well, if you're paying, I'll play.
Yeah.
So, we started doing it, and it's been going great. I mean, everything we've done has been natural and pretty self-sufficient. But everything's been going good, and it's just been fun. It's a new adventure, and I love doing new things that are cool and fun. And especially when I get free hats every week, can't complain about getting free stuff. We used to go. Do you know what the Ag Expo is?
Yes.
So we used to go to the expo every year, and we would just all load up on whatever free stuff we could get.
Yeah.
And, I feel like that's kind of flips over into this. It's like, man, I can sing some songs and get free clothes or whatever. But it's been fun, and it's new, and it's cool, and it's just, we're having a good time with it.
Yeah, dude, and I'd say you're doing a great job, especially early on, like figuring it out.
Yeah.
Has the process changed now that you're putting out songs that you're writing versus writing for other people?
I would say yes and no. Like, sometimes I try to think harder about things now than I did before. Before, I was just like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, I think somebody else could sing this, whatever, we'll write this down. Now I'm like, is that something I would say? Like, is that going to make sense? Because I'm a perfectionist, so, like, I have to make sure everything is, right in order and makes perfect sense. And now that it's, like, something that has my name on it, I'm like, okay, well, now this has got to be, the best that it can possibly be.
Yeah.
So that's been a little bit more stressful to deal with, but it's still, it's new and it's fun and it's exciting.
Yeah.
So.
When do you think you figured out the songwriting thing? Because people move here wanting to write songs, and it takes a little bit to learn. You got to find the right guys and girls that you like writing with, and you're growing every day, just like anything else. Yeah,
that's the number one thing, is growing every day. I'm still figuring it out. I had somebody ask me, I think I was doing a TikTok live like last week, which is, my absolute favorite thing to do ever.
Hey, I will say real quick before you get into this, there was a girl that drove 8 or 9 hours because of one of those TikTok lives, man. It's a way to connect with fans before you're out on the road doing it, before you can take your thing and play your songs to people. You can play it to anyone in the world. It's just like fishing, man. You cast out a line, sometimes you get bites, sometimes you don't get shit, but you still go fishing anyway.
Exactly.
It's the way you got to look at it. Seriously.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, and I do have to remind myself of that constantly. But yeah, doing that and just trying to get stuff out there and figure it all out. But yeah, it was that girl that drove 9 hours. Blew my mind for sure. I'd never had that happen. That was awesome. She drove down from Iowa and came to watch the 25-minute set that we played, and took pictures and all that stuff. But it was awesome. She was she was great, and we're all really appreciative of that for sure.
Yeah, man, that's what the building of the fan base looks like.
Yeah.
And what have been some wild things that you've seen from being online now, where you get messages or people listening from random places? Because you're from a very small town. Yeah. Everybody knows everybody. You went to smaller colleges. Everybody kind of knows everybody. You have like your crew here, but have there been folks like international that have reached out, or like from random places where you're like, damn, I don't even know where that is?
Yeah. You get a lot of message requests, and I will have to remind myself to go look and try to be as responsive as I can to try to, message people back or comment back and stuff like that, because the algorithm reads that also. But I don't look at my phone a ton. But yeah, you go and you see these people reaching out. It's like, hey, I love everything you're doing. Like, you're so great, and we're rooting for you, all this stuff. And they could be from Montana, they could be from Maine, or even out of the country. I mean, there was somebody from Brazil one time. They're like, hey, we're from South America, and we saw your live and just want to say we loved it or whatever. And then you get the ones that are like, hey, do you need a sugar mama?
Oh.
And then I'm just like, absolutely. And then they ask for all your information, and then, that's not real.
It used to be the Nigerian prince thing that would get all of our grandparents on email threads back in the day.
Yep. And, I will respond to those just in hopes one day it's real. It's like, I'll take $500 a week.
Well, you've kind of been my sugar mama today because you brought me one of these things. You have one in here for you too?
Oh, yeah.
Can you walk me through this? Let's eat this.
Yeah.
I've eaten food on here before, but never one of these. I've never had one of these.
Well, this is one of those things that they get you with in the drive-thru at Hardee's.
What was the deal they were running on it? 'Cause I run into drive-thru deals all the time. My girlfriend gets so mad at me.
Yeah, so this, it's just an apple pie. They fry them. They're super not healthy.
Dude, like the sugar and the cinnamon on the outside of this thing. Oh,
yeah, dude.
My God.
And so it's one of those. You go through the drive-thru, and it's like, are you ordering with your mobile app? And I'm like, didn't know you guys had an app at Hardee's. Great news. Anyway, so I say no, and put in my order, which is a ham biscuit with an extra piece of ham. And then today I got Dr. Pepper. I normally get sweet tea.
Yeah.
And then they followed up with, most places will say, do you want to round up for a donation?
Yeah.
Not at Hardee's. They say, hey, 2 apple pies for $2. And I'm like, well, yeah, you got me. For sure. So here we are with some apple pies.
That's awesome. So what do you do? Just fucking just eat it like an empanada or something?
Yeah, just take a bite.
Oh, dude. That is freaking good.
Yeah. I just got straight bread.
I got a little bit of that goodness in there. Yeah, that was the thing that, coming from the north to the south, I had never been to Hardee's until I moved down here.
Oh, God, man.
We don't have, you guys have, fast food is as much in culture as country music, killing deer, going to church, and eating Mexican food on Wednesdays.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
It's the South right here, man.
Yeah.
Musk and I put it in that song, that Evan Rudin song, that woke up, I could smell the hearty biscuit from a mile away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Hardee's was like you said, it's like a religion. I mean, it's anywhere I go, I get Hardee's. Unless you go up north, then there's not Hardee's.
Yeah.
I learned one time, like I said, I get a ham biscuit. I was on the road with Drew Baldridge. I used to do some driving and some TMing for him for just a few
Oh, no way.
runs.
I didn't know that.
Just a few things, here and there in
Nice.
between. Love Drew. He's great, and he's having so much success right now, and I'm super proud of him. But we went to a Hardee's. I want to say it was in Illinois, and it was in a truck stop. So it wasn't anything great.
The Loves Hardee's combo.
The Loves Hardee's combo. Yep. And we went in there, and I ordered this ham biscuit, and I had see if I can throw it everywhere.
Yeah.
I'd been driving pretty late into that night, and so the next morning I was like, yes, I can't wait to get in here and get this biscuit. And it comes out, and it's deli ham.
Oh, no, it's not country.
It's not the country ham, and I just looked at it for like 5 minutes. I was so upset about it. And I was like, where am I? What is wrong with this country? It was awful too. It was not any good.
That's what I think of. I see when you were saying a ham biscuit, I was thinking it was deli ham. That's the ham I know.
Yeah.
I don't eat the country ham steaks. I mean, I'm not against it, but it's not something that's.
Yeah.
I think of like right back home, ham, egg, and cheese is a. Have you been to New York City before?
Nope.
Well, if you ever do go, I want to be there when you go. First of all, second of all, the deli experience and like the breakfast sandwiches. We don't have biscuits, but you get them on. You would never. That's what I wanted to bring up with you. You just had your first bagel.
Oh yeah.
You had never had a bagel. That's how Georgia pecan farmer you are. You had never had a damn bagel until what, like a month ago?
Yeah, it was like right at a month ago now, I think. Yeah. So I went to, I was just thinking about it one day. I was like, my roommate, he'll eat them sometimes. He'll bring them back from home or whatever. And he's from North Carolina, but his grandma gets them from somewhere, and they're supposedly really good. And I never had one. And I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't think I've ever had a bagel. And, throw up an Instagram story because you have to post every day. And, I'm like, I've never had a bagel. And phone went crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
People
I think I sent you 2 or 3 messages on that.
Yeah. The phone was, the whole afternoon, the phone was going crazy. And, first of all, that just makes me want to throw it out the window even more. But, people were like, oh my God, like, how have you not had a bagel? You got to have this, got to have that. And I finally got a recommendation from Alex Klein, a great writer here in town.
Yeah.
And she was like, you have to go. She was like, take it from me. I'm a Jew. Like, she's like, you got to get this. These are the 2 places in town.
Yeah.
And Benji's was one of them. So I recently went to Benji's one day after the gym and was like, today's the day. I was hungry.
Bagel after the gym, too?
Bagel after the gym.
Bagels are the northern version of this.
That makes sense.
Not good for you, but delicious. One bagel is equivalent to a half to a full loaf of bread.
That, checks out. They're pretty dense.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So go to Benji's.
Go to Benji's. I have no idea what I'm ordering. I don't know anything about bagels other than they look like a donut and they're dense bread. So anyways, I get in there and I'm like before I got in there, I was looking online at the menu to try to figure out, like, make sure I don't look like a, super dumbass in there trying to order. And I get in there and this girl's got blue hair that I'm ordering from.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like,
that means you're in the right place, brother.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, here we go. And that's, a little bit out of my comfort zone, but it's, I went in there and was like, all right, I'm going to have, I think it was the music row is what I got. So it's basically like a ham biscuit kind of thing, but
ham, egg, and cheese on a bagel.
Yeah, basically. And, so I'm like, I'll have that. And she's like, okay, what kind of bagel do you want it on? I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's different kinds of bagels?
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was just ordering the sandwich. And I told her, I said, I had to break it down. I was like, listen, never had a bagel before. I have no idea. She was like, well, the bagel that I would recommend you get this sandwich on, we don't have anymore. We're out. She was like, so I'll just give you one of these. And it was like, I don't even know what it was. I couldn't tell you. It wasn't great. It was fine, but it wasn't, I was like, And then somebody, I think my roommate Logan, he introduced me to everything bagels.
Oh, yeah, everything. We put everything seasoning up north is like the ranch down here. Like, we put it on everything.
And that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go and retry it with the everything bagel, I guess it's called.
Yeah, dude. I mean, growing up, I grew up in suburbia outside of New York. Small county. It is, you would be surprised. Everybody thinks that I'm from like the city, and it's like, it's small town, like suburb. Like it's definitely not the country, but it's not like Manhattan. So you had a lot of stuff you could walk to, like neighborhood where it's like being here in Hermitage. Like you walk down the neighborhood, you go to the Walmart, you go to Nadine's. Like it's very walkable. Mm-hmm. And we had 9 bagel places within walking distance of my house.
Damn.
We had 7 pizzerias, like seven pizza by the slice places, all within walking distance. And they were all good enough to where they all survived.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like you go into the bagels. We had one, dude. We had a bakery. It was called Rockland Bakery. And you go in, you put a plastic glove on, and you go into the actual bakery, and you pick out your bread. They have it all kind of laid out. And they have the bagels coming off the conveyor belt.
Wow.
In the factory, yeah. And then you take the bagel and you take it to the deli counter, and they build you the sandwich with the piece of bread that you just handpicked.
See, where I come from, if they have that, all the bread's just getting stolen.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, well these guys had a hard time. I'm glad they survived COVID. It's different up there now.
Yeah.
COVID did a number. I'm glad I was down here in the South during that. But yeah, bagel. But I used to fly bagels home. It was a big deal. Like now, it's like if you get a bowl of my mother's pasta, it's a big deal. It used to be when I was working on Broadway. If I didn't give you a bagel and I worked with you at Whiskey Row, it was taken as like offense. Like, oh, Burrill didn't give me a bagel. Well, fuck him.
Yeah.
I would bring a checked bag strictly for bagels, and I'd bring back like
Jeez.
a couple dozen bagels. Yeah, you put them in the freezer and then you just microwave them, and
Oh, yeah.
you got to get butter or cream cheese on it. I wouldn't go for breakfast sandwich right away.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably a bold move.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, but you're a ham biscuit guy.
I'm a ham biscuit guy. You know, I saw the ham on there and was like, "This."
Was it
you
deli
know,
ham or was it at least country
It was
ham?
country
for
ham.
it? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it was a good ham. Yeah, it had a little salt on there.
Yeah, you got to get my order. The breakfast sandwiches are like spoken in letters back home. So there's like a bobo, a sobo, a hobo. You go to a deli and you say, "I'll take a BECSPK." It means bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup. Because you got to move quick.
Smothered, covered, and
Yeah, exactly. I've never thought of it like that. Yes, it is our smothered,
Yeah.
covered chunks. It is our Waffle House
Yeah.
type. I'd never thought of that. That's great that you just pointed that out.
Yep, it's my southern alphabet right there. It's the Waffle House.
Do you have a favorite Waffle House here in town?
Honestly, no. I've been to a few, and well, when I lived out in Bellevue, I would go at like 2 a.m. when I was coming back from town.
Yeah.
I'd go to the Waffle House right there off the Bellevue exit.
That's a
off
good
Highway
one.
70. That one is good. And I'd just get side of bacon and some coffee and sit there and just kind of listen in to whatever was being said in there. That's probably the better one that I've had.
What's the wildest thing you've seen at a Waffle House? And I never go to Waffle Houses during the day. For me, if the
Yeah.
sun's out, I ain't going.
Yeah.
I want to go when the creatures are out.
Yeah, that's the time to be there. That's for sure. There was a Waffle House in Remerton, back in Valdosta, which Remerton is a city inside of a city. Makes no sense, and the worst policing like you'll ever see.
Also,
That
it's just
that
a
is the
mess.
place to get a DUI, 100%. I've been pulled over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Remerton, there's Waffle House, and if you don't like fights or people getting shot at, don't go there.
Oh,
Food's great.
yeah.
Food is
I
immaculate.
used to go to the Antioch Waffle House, bro. I saw some things,
Yeah, I
man.
bet so. Yeah, it's probably really similar.
And you go with an instigator like Trey Lewis. He hasn't had a drop of alcohol since 2007. He's coming up on, I think, 19 years now that he's been off the sauce. But it's like he still likes to instigate and poke the bear. Or he won't get involved, but he'll just escalate the situation. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn, man, we're in some random town in middle of Arkansas. Don't be starting stuff, Trey.
Trey's like, hey, man, that guy over there said he'd whoop your ass. What? Yeah.
Oh, man.
I
Yeah,
like
man.
making fun like that, too.
Yeah, man, it's fun to just
Yeah.
stir
If there's
the
nothing,
sauce, stir the
if there's
pot.
nothing going on, you might as well make something go on.
Yeah.
You know, dinner and a show. You don't go to Waffle House for nothing.
Dinner at a show. It's like you go to certain places. You go to a Hooters or a Tilted Kilt for the ambiance. You go to Walmart. You go to Waffle House for the ambiance.
Exactly.
You go to Waffle House. You don't go to Huddle House because that's just blasphemy.
Yeah.
I'm not a Huddle House guy.
Well, in my hometown, we had a Huddle House versus.
You didn't have a Waffle House.
Didn't have
Wow,
Waffle
that's
House.
small.
Yeah.
That's small when you have a Huddle House instead of a Waffle House. That apple pie thing was good, by the way.
Dude, they're
It was good.
really
Feel free
great.
to eat it.
Well-
or yours is weird.
Yeah, I think all the like filling is down on this end, and I
Yeah,
bit
you
into the
just
wrong
bit
end.
the wrong
Yeah,
side.
it just kind of gave me a bad vibe there. But
The wrong side. Well, let's talk about the music because we've gone like 40 something minutes just BSing, which I knew we were gonna do, man.
right,
So you've had 5 songs that have come out, right? I think
Yep.
it's 5, might be 5. So you go back to the first one you put out, I Won't, which has been your biggest streaming one.
Yep.
And like when I think of like again that you're singing about the heartbreak kind of thing, but you're doing it in a fun way, which to me is like the most South Georgia thing ever when it comes to music. Let's talk about why that was the first one you wanted to do for your artist career.
That was like around the period of time we started writing songs that I was like, these are great songs. And, I felt really good about them. And I love the two guys that I wrote that with, Josh Grider and Kyle Schlanger. Great guys. And that song would just kind of, we had a group of songs that we picked, and that one just kind of felt like that should be the first song.
Yeah.
So that was really the whole thing to it. I mean, it's a fun way to like introduce myself. It's like, the old saying is like, I was like, hey man, that don't mean I won't do it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And so that was the whole thing. It's like, if the ex walks in this bar, don't mean I'm not going to talk to her.
Yeah.
So that just felt like the right place to kick things
And
off.
you sing the heck out of it live.
It's so fun.
You and the boys do a great job on that song.
It's so fun to play and perform and really just kind of get into.
Yeah, and then sonically, you keep it kind of in that same type of vein with Gone Girl and Hurt Like That.
Yeah. Gone Girl, we wrote that Max King, Callie Prance, two
other members of that crew
Yep.
that are great. We just did an episode with Callie on here, and Max I've known forever, Pittsburgh boy.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Joe Pretzel's what I like to call him.
Joe Pretzel. Where's he get that name from?
Not Co Wetzel, but Joe Pretzel.
Oh.
Yeah, that's his twin celebrity lookalike.
Yeah.
No, but I love Max. Max and I write together at least 3 times a month.
Wow.
We're that's one of the guys that we always get great songs with.
Is it hard rounding up the crew to write with your guys, especially when you're in that where a lot of you guys have folks booking your calendars now?
Yeah.
How is it transitioning from let's get together, let's drink some beers and let's write a song to I got to write with so and so who you don't know, and you got to reconfigure all the vulnerability with guys that or girls that don't know you.
Yeah, and to me, I've always been the kind of guy. My dad's a very business based guy, and he's always told me don't do business with family or friends. And so I think about that a lot. And so I love hanging out with my friends, and they all have great songs, but I don't write with a lot of my friends like
Really?
that. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's how my mind is wired, and I mean, there's some of them like Max. Max and I write all the time, but there's just some guys that I just don't write.
Like, have you written with Connor?
Yeah, I've written with all the guys at least a handful of times. It's never like a personal thing. It's always just like that's how my mind is. Like, I love spending time with those boys, and when I'm spending time with those guys, it's like I don't want to talk about music. I just want to be separate. I just want to hang out and do that. That's just how my mind works. And so I love the dating process of writing, like with different people. A new person every time. I love it. I don't know why. It just kind of it feels new, exciting, and cool.
What have been some of your favorite moments from that? Like people that have become like your coworkers in a sense that you love writing songs. That's the way to look at it from your eyes of business and family being separate.
Yep. Yeah. That's you get these people that you spend time with in the room, and you get to know those people in the room in a sense. And some of them you get to know outside of that. But like I love knowing those people in the room and just being in that, like you said earlier, it's a vulnerable moment. So like these people in a vulnerable situation, and it's just kind of a special thing. But it's been great.
So who have some of those guys and girls been? Like the first date moments where you end up having more.
Yeah. So I actually had one. I think it was last week. I had one where 2 brand new people in the room. So 3 of us had never written with each other. I think the other 2 had written once before, but Whitney Duncan and Brinley Addington.
Oh, Brindley's a boss.
Yeah. Had just met him when I walked in to Smack the other day.
Oh, gee.
And the atmosphere in the room was just perfect. It was great. Those 2 are amazing people, and like I was telling Sledge on the phone, I was like, I feel like Whitney could be my older sister. Like it was just like a great vibe, great time, and they're 2 special people, so I'm excited to get back with them here in the near future.
That's awesome. You guys got a good song?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. And then you go to Somewhere Right Now, which Gone Girl, Hurt Like That, Somewhere Right Now you've put out this year. And then Giving In, which I love that's a duet with another
Another
member
one.
of the not only the Georgia family but the Raised Rowdy family.
Yep.
With Avery Bielski.
Yeah.
What made you want to do that as a duet, and what was kind of the story behind that song?
Well, it's actually, so Avery and I wrote that together with Marty James, and it was the first time that we had ever written. It was one of those things where, you talk about it, it's like, yeah, like we're going to get dates, and someone else send one, and then nobody responds. And then I'll send dates, and then nobody responds. So it's like back and forth for so long, and finally I was like, Avery, let's plan it right now. Like, we're not walking away until we get something down. So that was the first time we wrote, and we went in, and I think it was her idea. And I was like, well, let's run with it, and if it sounds cool, it sounds cool. And we were like, this kind of sounds like it could be a duet, and so we wrote it that way. And that's how. I mean, I think it took us an hour and a half to write the song.
Wow, it was quickie.
It was quick, easy. We went in, sang it in a key that did not work, sang the demo down, and then went back in. We're like, hey, we need to fix this, and got it in the right key. And we're like, hey, this is actually really great. So I was like, well, I'm cutting songs right now. If you want to be a part of it, I'd love to have you on it. And so here it is.
Yeah, and it's cool when she's starting out similar, where she moved here and was doing the songwriting thing. Yeah. And I remember having the conversation with me and Nick, and she was like, yeah, I'm just trying for a pub deal. And Nikki T looked at her and was like, oh, honey, you're an artist. Like, you're going to be singing. So it's cool for you two to be doing a song together. And it was special when you guys got to sing it together at Odie's.
Yeah. Yeah, we've never rehearsed that song. We've just always kind of like, yeah, we'll play it, and then we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So it's been fun, and it's super special to get to do it with a friend.
Yeah. So now 5 songs in, do you feel like you're starting to find your sound of where you're going?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we've got a pretty good idea of where we're about to head. We're getting songs together right now for another batch.
Oh, put me in demo jail, brother.
Yeah,
send them to me.
I'll have to. We're getting some stuff together that we're super proud of, and we've kind of nailed down a sound that we're chasing after right now. That is just, it feels great, feels natural, and it just feels like who I am. So.
Yeah. And now you have a great champion in your corner.
Oh God, yes.
In Sledge.
Yep.
And she is incredible, and I love that I got to be a small part of the origin story. She makes it sound like I'm a huge part.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I guess in some regards, but you were playing Bama Bash with us.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess kind of tell that night from your point of view.
Well, it was blurry.
Yeah, of course. It was late night at the Floribama, and the Shackelford Lane boys were closing us out.
Yeah, and I don't think I'd worn shoes the entire week or weekend.
Yeah.
It was me and Connor Hicks. We were on stage, sunglasses on, hats backwards. I think it was Will Shackelford. He was like, hey, do y'all know the words to Good Directions? And we were like, yeah. Lights on, nobody home. So, we get up there, and we're trying to sing it, and I can't remember any of the words. Connor doesn't know the words. And we're just up there mumbling. I'm like, Madeline showed me a video where I don't have any shoes on, and like I'm standing on my tiptoes up there, just like raising my foot up and down.
I want to see if I have any video. Keep going. I want to see if I have any from Bama Bash.
Oh, man. Yeah, so we're up there, and we're mumbling through this song, and the girls are in the front row going absolutely buck wild.
Yeah, dude.
They were loving it. No clue why, but they were eating it up. And so, I'm trying to, holler at all the girls that I can while I'm up there. And so we go side stage after, an attempt at the song. And the next thing I hear and see is you, like, yelling at me and, like, waving me down. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. And you're like, hey, I got somebody you have to meet. And so, you pulled us over there and introduced, you like showed me the message where Sledge had messaged you on Instagram or something like that, and you introduced us, and from there it just kind of went uphill.
Yeah, dude, I have videos from that night. I don't have that exact moment. I have you arm wrestling some random guy.
Oh gosh.
Which funny story about that? There's the legend of Riley Green breaking a dude's arm at the Floribama.
That's why I don't arm wrestle anymore.
Yeah, dude, that was such a fun time. Like, and my favorite part of that weekend was at the band house, late night.
Yeah.
And we're hanging out, and Davis Nix is in there, and Riley Anderson's in there, and Job Fortner's in there, and we're just passing the guitar around.
Yeah.
And everybody's drinking, everybody's smoking. Georgia and Kentucky were playing that night, so you and Connor were going at it. It was, you guys were jumping into the damn bay and swimming around, and I was like, the New Yorker in me was like, there's got to be sharks in there. Don't freaking do that. The tour manager and me was like, you heathens, you know.
Get out of the pool.
Well, not even the pool. You're in the damn bay.
Yeah, there was definitely sharks in there for sure. Yeah, I remember watching the game and like standing on the table in there.
Yeah.
You know, hands on my head, like freaking out because we're losing. I mean, we won by 1 point.
Yeah.
That night. So.
Here's a great one of you boys drinking your. What do you have in your hand? You've got something else, but you and Connor. Back in, this was beautiful, like the sunset. Look at this romantic photo. Just hanging out, man.
Yep.
And that was a little over a year ago, which is what's crazy.
Yeah.
That was September 12th, 2024, and Anna McElroy took that picture. And that was also Landon Smith's 21st birthday.
Yeah, it was.
Remember?
'Cause that was the first night I'd met Landon.
Yeah, and he's another guy that's from he's from McDonough, so a little north of you, but part of that Statesboro lineage.
Yep.
And his parents were down there. And remember, there was the hurricane in Louisiana. And there were all those LSU people there.
Yep. And they were rowdy.
Everybody from Louisiana. I guess that's like the trick is when there's a hurricane coming, they just go to the Bama.
Yeah. That's what it seems like. I mean, we were talking to me and Connor were talking to somebody like during the day, and now Connor and I started drinking beer halfway from Nashville to down there on the way down. So the whole weekend was just probably shouldn't have talked to anybody, but we were talking to somebody and they were like, yeah, well, you know, it doesn't rain in the bar kind of thing. And so, you know, we've each written that song a few times, but, you know, just people were just coming over from getting out of the weather and stuff. So yeah, there was some rowdy people in there. We got there Friday, and our events were that Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, because I remember college football being on, and then NFL football being on, and it being a hazy Monday getting back, even for a guy like me who don't drink. Yeah,
you know, I was 420 in it, but we were having a good time down there, like. Yeah. And then Key West, one of the first times I remember like really hanging with you was the Key West Songwriters Festival. It had to be, like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Because I didn't go last year. It might have been 2 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. It was our first time in that Airbnb. It was when me and Nikki T were each on the twin beds upstairs. Ike was there. I forget if Jerry was there. One year we brought Jerry, and Jerry just lived on the pull-out couch downstairs. But I remember having you, and I think it was Anna and Cassidy and Max and Callie, and like I remember you coming over and playing in that little back porch that we had. Yeah. You know?
Yep. Yeah. I didn't go this past year.
A lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
We were at a festival. I was at a festival called Calf Fry, which is where they eat the castrated bull balls. Yeah, they fry them and they eat them like Rocky Mountain oysters. Yeah. So I was there working. We were out there at that festival. Yeah. And now I don't know if we're going this year. I don't know what we're doing that weekend now, but that Key West seemed like it's a fun time down there.
It's a great time.
It's an expensive time.
It's an expensive time. And like I said, I didn't go this past year, but the year prior, I think 2024 year, I went and I had just sold a dirt bike that I had, and I had like $4,000 in my pocket. And then the next day flew out to Key West for the Songwriters Festival, and I spent every last dime of it down there. Every last dime of it. And had a great time, you know.
Yeah, you played one of our happy hours.
Yeah.
And you were at Island Dawgs a bunch, like, during the day. It's just, it's such a fun time of seeing everybody. And you have different classes, like, you're talking about Brindley, and it's like Brindley's been going to that thing since back when you and I were in high school, you know, like he's OG with like Joey Hyde and Tyler Reeve and Ryan Hurd and like that whole crew. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's such a crazy time. Just thinking back about it. And it's good networking, but then at the same time you're like, I could spend maybe that $4,000 over a 2-month period going out to Red Door. Right.
Yeah, and then I had at least 2 dozen oysters with every meal.
Oh, you were balling. Okay.
I was balling. I was just absolutely eating, drinking like a king. Wasn't holding anything back. I was like, you know what? I'm here. I rented the fastest scooter on the island.
Oh, yeah, you were scooting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if I have any Key West pictures from back in the day, dude. Sorry to be pulling up all these damn.
No,
They're good memories, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're good memories. I love that. Mickey T always laughs about the pictures that I take when we're down at different things because. Oh, who's that? There's some guy just passed out. You never know what you're going to find when you go to the old Key West folder.
You never do.
That was when Ike and Nicky T used to party hard down in Key West. This year's he's been setting it off more. He goes like a little boozy, like, let's set this thing off, set this thing off.
Yeah.
That's been like his rally song for this year.
Yeah.
You know, like a few years ago, my buddy Tyler, who's out with, funny enough, he's out with Tyler Brady now. He used to be on the Muscadine gig with me. And his song was, if he heard the Mo Bamba, he would just black out. And that was like 7 years ago when I first moved here. But Nicky T's song has been Set It Off this year.
Fair enough.
And he's been setting it off.
And sometimes you got to.
Yeah, well, this year, when you have a partner like Surfside,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they're a party, man.
Yeah, you have to. You know, you hear that certain song and you get these things are so good.
Yeah, you're gonna crack that open. We're coming up. We're at 11 now.
Oh, we're at 11?
We're at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just have one.
Yeah, you know.
Just have one. And I made sure to give you the iced tea because what is it about the iced tea? Are you just more of an iced tea guy than a lemonade guy?
Yeah, the lemonade it's too acidic. It hurts my stomach.
Okay,
and
makes
I can
sense,
only
yeah.
drink like one.
Or the iced teas.
The iced teas.
You're a
you
guy
can
that's
drink
drank lots
30.
of tea in your life.
Yeah. That's about the only thing I keep in my fridge.
You know what's crazy? For a little fun insider fact, shout out to the king of depletions, Brandon Berman, their director of corporate partnerships. We were on a little retreat, if you will, up in the great state of New Jersey with them earlier in September. And we were just kind of hanging out, and he was like going through like different numbers of where Surfside sold really well. You know where the number one place is that Surfside is sold in the state of Georgia?
Where's that?
Statesboro. And
Some things just make sense.
and the number 1 and 2 bars in the state of Georgia are the Blue Room and Dingus McGee's.
Of course they are. Some things just make sense. I get nauseous hearing the name Statesboro. It's just the amount of times that I've been there.
Yeah, last time I was there, we almost went this past week for the Gavin show because we went to his last show at the Blue Room that he had done. It was like 2 years ago.
I'm sure that was insanity.
Bro, and the Blue Room holds a special place in my heart because when DDID first came out, Trey was playing that place as a cover gig. Trey was playing the Blue Room and Barrel House in Savannah. He was playing that. I think he was playing each of them like twice a month. So him and Terry and McElwain, and they would go and play the 4-hour cover slot on a Friday. They'd play like Friday or Saturday after a game down in Statesboro, and DDID comes out, does what it does, and he had that on the calendar as cover gigs, and he had to adjust them to 90-minute sets and play originals.
Yeah.
So that was my first weekend on the road with Trey. It was my first time in Statesboro. It was Trey Bonner's first time in Statesboro. Me and Bonner drove down separate in my Chevy Equinox that I had at the time. I was driving an Equinox, bro, my mom car. And so ever since then, it's always held. Like I had my 25th birthday, I think, or no, it'd be 26th birthday, was in Statesboro. Had a hell of a time, like we would hit that all the time. But yeah, that Gavin show and little Landon Smith opened up acoustic and people were throwing stuff and there were fights breaking out during Landon's acoustic set before Gavin. Like, and I remember Nicky T looking at me and saying, "Hey, do we want to go down in the pit?" I'm like, "No, bro. We're going to stay here. This is John. He's the sound guy. He's going to smoke some cigarettes. I'm probably going to bum 1 or 2 off of them. And we're going to stand right here in front of house and just look out from front of house. We're going to be out of the splash zone. Ike, you go wherever you want to with your camera. Be careful. Here's a bag to cover your camera."
Yeah.
And I love Bridwell and Al Chapman and the guys that run that joint because it is a legacy spot.
Everybody knows what the Blue Room is.
Yeah.
There's not many people that don't.
Yeah, dude. And for Gavin to put thousands of people outside in the parking lot And that's where his origin story started, with climbing out on top of that bus and ended up on ESPN. You probably remember when that happened.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. That was South Georgia on ESPN on SportsCenter.
Right, yeah. If it wasn't, Valdosta High School football, it was Gavin Adcock, chugging whiskey off the top of a bus.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah, it was a wild time. Have you played shows in Statesboro over the years? Have you gotten to go down there, do shows yet?
I played one at Southern Social, I believe it, like right after it opened, and that's the only show I've played in Statesboro.
It's also funny how in Statesboro you have so many guys coming up and doing it, but it's like there's the Southern Social crowd and then there's the Blue Room crowd.
Totally different.
Gavin Adcock, Landon Smith, Blue Room guys. Cole Goodwin, Will Mosley, Southern Social guys. Yep. It's funny how it's like different,
Yeah, it is.
It's the same kids. It's just two competing venues,
Exactly.
And they're both a lot of fun. I've always been more of a Blue Room guy just from being with Trey and Muscadine, but Social's cool too. It's just, you guys just love country music. Like South Georgia, I think, loves country music more than any other section of the United States. I mean
agree.
that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I would agree.
Have you had people from South Georgia that are like coming up in the scene, or even just the state of Georgia, that have reached out to you now that you've been here for coming up on 4 years?
Yeah, I get messages from certain people. One guy that I'm glad, he's actually my roommate. He only lives with me like 3 days out of every month, but Derek Flowers.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I got introduced to Derek. That was another part of the Tyler Chambers tree.
Yeah. Yep. He's from Douglas, and Tyler's from Douglas also, which is like 45 minutes up the road from us. But Derek's great. Great voice. You'd look at him and be like, he's not going to sound like that. And he does. Yeah. He's that guy. So I'm excited to see what Derek does and, hopefully write some more songs with him.
Yeah, that's awesome, because it seems like there's different kids coming out of Georgia. Like the kids that I've become close with have been like the Ethan Gardners, the Ben Bates. I don't know if you know Crazy Ben.
I don't know him, but
you and him would drink a lot of cold beer together. You would drink a lot of Surfside iced teas together. Like you two together would be borderline problem. Great kid. One of Landon's buddies that still, I think he might have just graduated. And then Cade Beecher is another kid they're all going to school at Southern and coming up, and it's like Landon is like a slight big brother, like a classmate to them. And it's like they're learning. It's just
they're all figuring it out.
Every year there's a new set of guys coming up repping South Georgia.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, it's kind of like us, there's always a class coming through.
Yeah, but it's like the fact that it's like a class. It's like if you look at it from like a sports perspective, which I always do, because that's how I started with media, was I wanted to be on ESPN. Like I used to cover sports in New York. Like that was what I did before getting into this country music world. And it's like you look at like the big high school football programs, and it's like South Georgia is that. And then you go to college in Nashville, and then you start touring and get your record deal, and that's when you're in like the major leagues.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like the ultimate developmental program, because there's so many places to play.
Yeah.
Like a Mexican restaurant, a barbecue joint, church.
Yep. Always somewhere.
There's always somewhere to play. Like you guys are spoiled in that regard.
It's kind of like, especially when I was coming up, we still had the Blue Water. We still had Terminal South or the Gin, back in the day.
Yeah, dude. God bless Tifton.
Yeah.
God bless Tifton.
That was my, once I turned 18, that was my first official concert that I went to, was Corey Smith at the Gin.
Oh, dude. That's like the most Georgia thing of all time.
Yeah. You can't beat that. But yeah, I mean, and those places don't exist anymore, which is unfortunate. And, these kids don't get to experience those places. But, I feel like those two were like the little brothers to the Blue Room kind of thing.
Yeah.
But those places are kind of getting a little bit fewer and far between now, in the Deep South anyways. There's still Blue Room and places like that. And but the Crazy Bull, that was in Macon, right? That doesn't exist anymore.
When Rich passed away.
Yeah.
Which I got to go through there a number of times.
That's a place
my first weekend with Muscadine Bloodline, 2019. We did Huntsville, Alabama, and then we played at Bragg Jam. We were like the closers of Bragg Jam on the inside stage.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, this place is wild. I'm like, this room has seen some stuff.
Yeah.
And then Josh Terry's doing his thing at the Hummingbird in Macon.
Oh, really?
Where he was, I don't know if he's still doing it, but like he had Zach Top in that thing. He had Ashley Cook. He's had like I think his first promoted show that he did with the Josh Terry podcast in Macon was with Trey Lewis. It was one of ours, and it was like a Sigs Inside narrow shotgun bar, stage a little bit bigger than this table. It was like it's fun, man. There's just something about those honky tonks, man.
Mm-hmm. Can't beat them.
There's something about it. So, what's something that you wish you would? What's something you would tell that kid that moves out, like yourself, like going back 4 years ago? You're about to hit the 4-year mark, which congrats on that, man. Like,
thank you.
I'm about to be hitting 7 in like a week or two. It's like it's a tough town to stick around. It like you have so many ups and downs. It's a place where you drink a lot of beers, but you have to keep focused and keep dialed in and everything. But what's something that you would tell that wide-eyed kid that moved up here 4 years ago? You'd tell younger you.
You know, take it all in, but know your limits. You know, I've walked that line a lot, and sometimes you kind of cross that line a little bit. So just be somebody you would want to have a beer with, and know your limits.
Yeah. Amen to that. You enjoying the our rounds at the local and Odie's?
I love the local. I spend a lot of time there at the local, and me and Davis Luce, we used to go in there. They have their happy hours from 4 to 7 on Monday through Thursday, and then Fridays like 2 to 7 or something like that. But it used to be $1 Busch Light drafts, and we would spend $30 in there, and then they bumped it up because we drank so many of them they weren't making any money off of it. But yeah, I love the local, and everything sounds good in there, and especially glad to have y'all at Odie's.
Yeah,
you know it's such a huge difference, and you know, no knock to any of the other places, but it's a better stage, better sound, like it's a better room.
Yeah, and the fact that there's a green room in there, and I think it makes it more enjoyable for everybody that attends that's coming out to watch you guys play.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. You know, you have. The sound's not right in your face, you know, knocking you down, and you have to kind of talk over everybody in the corner kind of thing. It's all right there, and it's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. So when are we looking at more music coming out?
You know, we have one more up our sleeve that we're kind of potentially thinking about just randomly dropping this year at some point. We're kind of looking at November. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's a drinking song. It's fun. I got a really good buddy of mine on the song with me. Don't want to disclose that yet, but he's a
tell me off the mic.
Yeah. He's a good buddy, and we're excited about it. And we're gonna film like a music video kind of thing with it. So it's gonna be really fun. But it's just gonna be one of those things where we're not gonna like advertise it until time.
Yeah, just see what happens.
And just because it's so fun. Anybody that's heard the song already is like, this is
I've probably heard you play it at a round.
You probably have. And I don't do it often, but it's fun.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, maybe you'll have to get down to Athens and like do the music video down at a tailgate.
Yeah.
If it's that much of a cold beer song.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Just roll up on a tailgate somewhere, bro.
Yep.
Are you scared of Vandy as a Georgia fan?
This year, yeah, I am. You know, I've been a dog through thick and thin. You know, coming up, there's been a lot of heartbreak.
You remember the Mark Richt years, which had its good moments, but also had a lot of
bad moments. Yeah. I remember them well. So this year, you know, I get a little bit more nervous than I have in the past few years. But you know, I think I am a Gunnar Stockton fan. I've been a Gunnar Stockton fan.
He looks like a Georgia quarterback. He looks like a frat boy. He looks like he looks like
cornbread fed.
He looks like he's hanging out at Generals when it's the off season.
100%.
Like he looks like a quarterback and the name Gunnar Stockton.
It rolls off great. It's like quarterback Gunnar Stockton, University of Georgia. It doesn't get better than that.
And then I asked you about one high level nerdy school. Are you scared of Georgia Tech, the only undefeated school in the state of Georgia right now?
No, I'm not scared of Georgia Tech. Nope, not at all. I have an uncle who's a Georgia Tech fan, and we were kind of giving it to each other back and forth this past weekend.
That game's going to mean a lot.
It is.
If Georgia Tech holds through and you guys hold through, that game's going to mean a lot going into conference championship week.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a big game. It's a really important game, but I feel like, Dawgs on top.
Okay.
Dawgs by a million.
I'm going to have to hold that clip for.
Yeah. Hold that one. That might come back to bite me in the ass. But hey, Dawgs on top. I believe in it.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, hey, I appreciate you so much. Come on. Do we know the title? Can you at least give us the title of the song you're thinking of dropping?
I'll give you an acronym for it.
An acronym.
NDA.
NDA. Yes, I have heard this song. Yep, I have heard it. All right. Awesome, man. Well, y'all be sure to look up our man, Justin Schools. It's still Justin Schools Music, right?
Justin Schools Official.
Justin Schools Official.
Oh,
Were you ever Justin Schools Music, or was it always been official?
I think it was music like way back when, but I think I changed it to official just because I'm an asshole.
Official. All business. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
hey man, thanks for coming on and hanging out. Thank you for the apple pie.
Of course.
It was delicious. And y'all be sure to go check out Justin's music. Be on the lookout for more music next year for sure, but possibly a little NDA action. Oh, as I'm knocking over Garrett Cole right here. And give him a follow. Jump on the TikTok live. If you watch this episode, we like to know who's watching. Comment on a Justin Schools TikTok live and say that you watched the podcast episode.
Yeah.
What's the question? What should I have them? I feel like we should comment a word. Oh, comment the phrase "Go Dogs." Comment "Go Dogs" on the TikTok live. And if you do, that'll be our sign that you watched this episode.
But do it with a question mark, like "Go Dogs?" ? That way we know.
Yeah, Go Dogs ? That's the key.
And I'll respond with something back that I'll only respond to that with.
Secret word. You be on a little secret basis with our man Justin Schools. But thank you guys for watching. Like I said, check out Justin's music. I'll be on the lookout for what's coming in 2026. Shout out to our friends from Surfside. No bubbles, no troubles. It ain't a seltzer, it's a Surfside. They're taking over the world. Fastest growing canned cocktail in the U.S. Go see your local drinking watering hole and get a Surfside in your hand. Vodka iced tea, the half and half, the green tea, the lemonade, they got it all. And for more on us, visit raisedrowdy.com. For my man Justin Schools, I'm Matt Burrill. This has been Outside the Round.